There seems to be a special relationship between grandparents and their grandchildren. That's what we discovered this summer at the Elder Hostel camp in the mountains and among the tall trees of Vancouver Island.
Well, I certainly hope Amos is taking a whole bunch of warm stuff, because I understand it's quite cold up there at night.
Well, I don't know about Amos, but I've got this sweater.
This is Jean and Gwyn Evans in Armstrong, British Columbia. Quiet, unassuming folks, they've decided to go for the Elder Hostel adventure and share it with their grandson Amos, who's also packing on the other side of town with his mother, Linda.
How are you feeling about going off with Grandma and Grandpa for a week?
Well, it's really exciting. Can't wait for it to start.
With packing done, Amos is off to BC's Strathcona Park for an adventure with Grandma and Grandpa.
Here we go. Have fun. Go, Lindy.
After a long drive and ferry ride, the family arrives at Strathcona Park Lodge. The rustic lodge and cabins overlook Buttle Lake in central Vancouver Island, where the Evans family join other hostelers for a week of learning and adventures. For some tips in photography, the classroom is a spectacular mountaintop. The instructor, Jorgen Svensson, focuses on a wildflower.
I can put that right in behind here. And now I have a completely black background, and it's going to make it so much more dramatic.
All three members of the Evans family took part in this course.
Okay, you guys. There, fantastic.
This will be a nice memento of their week together at Elder Hostel. Strathcona Park Lodge has hosted Elder Hostel programs for 3 years. The lodge owner, Myrna Bolding, says this one with grandchildren is special.
This is just about the happiest combination I think we've had so far. The kids seem really relaxed, and the grandparents stay interested in the kids, but they're not overprotective. It's just really a good sort of situation for everybody, I think.
Jean and Gwyn sat in on the carving class. Amos was off doing something more strenuous.
It's the artistic spirit. It's taken over, you see. We can't think of anything except just the work ourselves.
In activities like rock climbing, we find children and grandparents taking part side by side. This wall in the main lodge building was constructed specifically for this course. Some grandparents like to take part with the kids. Instructors like Ken Andrews really get a charge out of their work.
It was great because yesterday we were up on the ropes course, and you see the kids up there, and you see the grandparents watching them and thinking, all right, there's my grandchild going along. But then even more special was to see the grandkids seeing their grandpa get up on the tension traverse and go along and go, wow, there's grandpa doing it. So that's really special.
Our young friend Amos took his turn on the tension traverse and did well on his first time out. One of the lessons Amos learns is to trust your team members to catch you if you fall.
Okay, there you go.
During lunch, the families talk over the morning's activities. They look forward to hearing an afternoon talk by Gareth Wood of Victoria.
I spent 2 years with this expedition in the Antarctic.
Gareth Wood tells the Elder Hostel group how he and 2 British mountaineers made an unsupported walk from the Antarctic coast to the South Pole. 300 miles into the walk, he was having serious blistering problems with his feet, adding another challenge to the expedition.
But it's a difficult decision on how hard to push yourself in conditions like that. And you know you can take more pain, but what about permanent damage? We couldn't risk that at that stage, because that definitely would mean the end of the trip.
In spite of the hardships, they did reach the South Pole. And for the Elder Hostelers, from one expedition to another.
There are a number of plants I want to show you along here. We're going to be going into the bog.
That's Karen Schwam, the guide for a stroll through a natural bog that's within walking distance of the lodge. This is one event that Jean and Gwyn shared without Amos.
And this is the sundew plant. It's a carnivorous plant. It won't eat you, though. It eats little ants or little spiders or flies that might come along. There's one that's being caught in that one right there.
There's always something new to learn in Elder Hostel programs. From the bog walk, it's on to pottery.
I'm pulling the clay up and I'm thinning out the walls at the same time.
Jack Jakovich teaches the craft, and a proud Jean watches as Amos gets a chance to make his first clay pot.
Okay, you're doing the right thing. Get your hands wet, though. Keep your hands wet all the time.
Ooh, look at that, wobbly.
A few finishing touches, and Amos sets his pot out in the sun to dry. We found Franz and Mary Bruce and their granddaughter Melissa about to embark on a picnic in a canoe.
This is the first time we've taken her on a trip and spent this, this kind of time with her as far as continuous time.
And it's good?
Oh, it's great.
So off they went, paddling like pros. Eddie Hobie from Los Altos, California, and Ruth Payne from Toronto met on this trip, and they've become friends.
Oh, well, yes, friendly. We're going out in the canoe together. You know, in the different courses, you meet different people and get to know them that way. Isn't that true?
True, absolutely.
No Elder Hostel event on Vancouver Island would be complete without the traditional native Indian salmon barbecue. The whole group, grandparents and grandchildren alike, showed up for this feast. Events like this have made the week exciting for Amos. He's also enjoying his time alone with his grandparents.
Well, that's really nice. It's nice to be just alone with them without having anyone else here really to interfere all that much.
I think we'll understand each other better. I've said this many times about being a parent or a grandparent. It's a thing that you try and do your best.
Oh, I'm extremely proud of the boy. He can just stand there, and I feel proud of him. But, yeah, to see the way he's fitted in, to see his kind of wholehearted participation in stuff, and, of course, the pot, see him throwing the pot, was great. I really enjoyed it.
And that's our show for this week. Now, some highlights of stories that will bring you in the weeks and months ahead on the best years.